Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chambers, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Tuesday, June 18th, 2019, following the budget hearing. I'm sorry. It's the wrong one. This is a conference meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chambers, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, New Jersey, on Tuesday, June 18th at 7:01 p.m. Roll call. Councilwoman Eason? Here. Councilman Jackson?
Here.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Here.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Here.
Councilwoman Williams?
Present.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Here.
Council President Coley?
Present.
Also present, Joyce Lanier, City Clerk. Chris M. Hartwick, the Business Administrator. Captain Vinny Vitiello, Police Department. Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Officer. Are you representing the Fire Department?
Report, but I'm here tonight, yes.
Okay, and your name?
Deputy Chief
Deputy Chief
Alman.
Alman Digger.
Good job, Joyce. Good.
Fire Department. Also, Lisette Sanchez, Record Support Technician. Please stand for a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Please be apprised, anyone wishing to discuss agenda or general items shall sign one book. Each person signing the book will be allowed to speak for a maximum of 5 minutes. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et.sec. The Sunshine Law has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, published in a record transcript on July 12, 2018, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall and filed in the office of the City Clerk. Our first item for matters of discussion is the Orange Housing Authority. Dr. Walter D. McNeil, Jr. Please come forward.
Relax.
There's a couple of my board members with me that I'd like to introduce to you. First, our chairperson, Ernest Williams, and Dr. Joseph Giuliano, and Commissioner Betty. All right, so you're all here. We're voting on her tonight, so she can continue on. But we'll let the chair start. Give us 20 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes. 10. He's taking some of your minutes, just so you know, Doc.
Right. Okay, Council President, Council, Clerk, City Clerk, I want to thank you all very much for this opportunity to speak shortly. Won't keep you long, in the words of Elizabeth Taylor. I'm not going to go into all our achievements because you have the annual report, which speaks very loudly for everything we've done. I just want to reiterate that I'm a long-time Orange resident, born and raised in Orange. I was in Orange prior, before the projects were even built. So I'm probably a few years older than most of you. I remember when Orange was a vibrant community. I remember when the projects were built, everyone was trying to get in the project. They were all working class people. I left Orange at the age of 18 to go into the service, completed my service assignments, went to college, moved to the Midwest, stayed in the Midwest for 15 years. I only came back to Orange periodically, so I was not aware of the drastic changes that were taking place in Orange. Same changes that were taking place in most major urban cities around the country for various reasons. But when I did decide to come back, I decided not to move up the hill, not to move to West Orange or South Orange. I decided to come home because I wanted to make a difference. There have been too many Orange residents that have been very successful, and when they saw things going bad, they left. Had they stayed, we might be in a better place than we are right now. I decided to stay. I put my commitment in my family. My two boys went through the Orange school system, graduated with honors, went to college. My youngest son just recently graduated from Mount Clair State University in finance. He's getting ready to go to Seton Hall. They did very well in the Orange school system. I have no complaints about the Orange school system. I know over the years they've gotten a bad rap, but through my experience, they've done a great job in bringing Orange to a better educational system and a place to live. As a member of the Orange Housing Authority, when I was asked to become a member, I was very pleased and happy because I saw an opportunity to make a difference for the residents of Orange by providing housing, clean housing, affordable housing for our Orange residents. And it was a pleasure to see how designated communities came back because of the work that Orange Housing Authority in partnership with the city has done. We could not have done it without the city's partnership with us. And I'm proud of all the acceptance and partnerships that the city have given us over the years. And I know that's going to continue because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to keep you long, and I'm a man of my word. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to just give a brief presentation.
Pull your mic down so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, again, I'm Walt McNeil. I'm the Executive Director of the Orange Housing Authority. And you have an annual report that sort of details and also summarizes some of the accomplishments for the Housing Authority for the year. Certainly, we had a banner year in 2018. Our fiscal year is from April to March, so you'll get another report next year, sort of around the same time or earlier if we get invited to do that. We're in a fiscal year. So this is appropriate. You also have our financial reports, our audits, which I've delivered to the clerk, and I've actually sent them all to the city council members. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what I did today. I looked at some of our founding documents from 1938. And in 1938, the Housing Authority with the city agreed to establish an organization that would provide a means to eliminate the slums within the city. And that, I realize that's an antiquated term, but that was the term that was used in the documents that I was reading. To eliminate the slums and create opportunities to provide affordable and decent housing that's safe for people, for the residents of Orange. And what I would say is that the Housing Authority and the city did a good job together. In fact, I was surprised to find out that $1.5 million was issued to the Housing Authority by the federal government. There was no HUD back then, but it was just the Housing Administration. They issued $1.5 million based on a signature of the Housing Authority Board and the mayor and the city council, and it was called the City Commission at that time, agreeing that they would use that money to eliminate slums. 1938, that happened. And they began a process to eliminate old and dilapidated homes and housing that didn't serve the residents of Orange well. Fast forward to 50 and 52. It wasn't until 50 and 52 that they actually built the first units. Walter G. Alexander Village, as well as Father Rossi. Another grant from the federal government, $5 million, $6 million for each one, respectively, in order to build those buildings. Fast forward to 1970, and we built Washington Manor in 1970, because there was a need for housing for seniors. We didn't do this alone. We did it with the city. Throughout all the high problems and concerns of the 70s, the 50s, 60s, and the 70s, they were able to get together enough to build homes that met the desires of people in the community. Incredible, incredible work. When those units started failing because of whatever reason, and I won't debate that issue now, whether it was too high of housing, whether there was a drug epidemic, whether people just let those places go into decay, the properties didn't work anymore. Too many entrances and exits, the architecture, a lot of different things came into play. But what I will tell you is that the community got together in 2008, 2009, when President Obama got elected. We got $1 million, again, from the federal government to tear down the old Walter G. Alexander. And we did it, irrespective of whether we were going to get the money to do a tax credit unit, one tax credit unit. In fact, we applied for tax credits, and we weren't successful on the first round. But the city got back together second year, third year, applied again. We applied for two. And some of you were on the board of the Housing Authority at that time. We were successful at getting not one, but two tax credit units that changed the face of that community in the East Ward. And specifically, and I don't even need notes for this, but it's increased property values, decreased crimes, lighting has been upgraded in the areas. I don't want to say the need for public safety has decreased, but certainly we were getting 30 to 40 calls a day to our public safety, police, fire, ambulance services. We are not getting that today. We are not getting those sort of calls today. I just had a little brief conversation with one of the captains of the police department who, and I don't want to utilize him as the example, but certainly we've been talking to the police department. You know that people are not going down there and creating crime in situations today. We've upgraded the roads, and again, we spent $1.5 million recently of federal government monies to begin the whole process with Walter G. Alexander IV. And I'm here to say to you tonight that the need for affordable workforce housing has increased even more based on my research and based on research in the industry. There's downward pressures from different people coming into the community, paying a lot more money for housing in Orange. And I'm here to testify to you today to tell you I have 200 people on the street looking for units who have Section 8 vouchers, fair market vouchers. They can't find a place in Orange to live. There's something going on here in our community. And what I would say to you is that there are drastic needs. And I know I don't have a lot of time to go into the details, but I'd love to sit down and talk with the council, business administrator, the mayor, about some of the research that I've uncovered. Not just about the community of Orange, but it's happening in a lot of our communities where the demographics are changing, people are paying much more money for rents, and I think the argument that I would lay out to you is that some people are getting shut out of the community. And I'll leave it at that. And certainly, if you have questions, I'll certainly be willing to answer questions.
Council members, any questions, comments for Dr. McNeil?
Council President,
Councilwoman Williams.
Director McNeil, and board members, thank you for being here. Board members, are y'all okay? Y'all want to have a seat? Y'all, everybody's good? Just, okay, all right, just because, you know, I didn't want y'all to be uncomfortable. Police substation over at Walter G.
Right.
Is that available for our police to utilize?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The police, just so you know, the police asked us to not utilize it for a bit because they had to straighten out some things administratively.
But if we're ready to go now, it's ready to go?
It's absolutely ready.
Okay. And then, and we have access to the cameras over there. If we have you know, we can dial into the system, our police can?
Absolutely. We've sent them to the internet passwords to the business administrator, the mayor, police director. I'm not sure whether people are accessing it, but I certainly do access.
Okay, but we have access. Okay.
Yeah, we do have access. And plus, we have access at our central station at Washington Manor. So we watch the cameras, too.
You just mentioned fair market value rent, and rent is really, really high. I'll do the median, the two-bedroom. Do you know approximate what is the fair market value for a two-bedroom?
The fair market value for a two-bedroom is about $1,500. It fluctuates, $1,500, but people are renting, landlords are renting units for $2,000.
No, I know. I just wanted, but the HUD standard for fair market is 15 for a two-bedroom. Okay.
Right, and that's our standard too, because they make us say what we're going to receive for a two-bedroom.
Got you. So with that in mind, if you're giving out a voucher for a two-bedroom and the voucher's $1,500, but you're finding that the market in Orange is basically for a two-bedroom is $2,000, do you have the ability to go to the HUD, or, I mean, is there anything that how do you deal with that?
We did, and we can increase our fair market standard by different percentages, but it's still not going to get up to the $2,000.
Okay.
And my point is, with the 2,000, I hope I'm making this clear, that people are renting the units, and they're substandard units because 2 and 3 families are renting at the same time, so that there's crowding in a two-bedroom. You might have 2 or 3 families.
No,
and that's, I'm sorry, that's the point that I was trying to make.
But there's still the issue that if you call me and say, hey, Don, I have a voucher for you.
Right.
And I know that you primarily want me to keep my voucher here in Orange.
Right.
And if I can't find it here in Orange, you allow me to port out?
No.
Okay, so
not on the first. Initial applicants can only utilize their voucher in Orange.
So if I have a two-bedroom for $1,500 and rentals in Orange are $2,000?
Well, exactly. You're making the point. And the reason why we need quality workforce housing in the area, because
no, I understand what you're saying, but I want to tell me about that person. That person gets a call, you have the voucher, but the rent is no longer at that amount in Orange, and then you said you're not allowing them poured out.
Right.
So you would not allow that person to pour it out, and that person would lose the voucher.
well, the federal rules don't allow us to have somebody, because it's like a home rule type of thing. Like, we are in Orange, the people in East Orange are in East Orange, the Housing Authority, and they have the same rules that we do.
But you just said it's a home rule, so you can let them pour it out, but you don't.
No, I cannot.
You can't.
Our rules do not allow us to allow a first-time applicant for Section 8 to pour it out.
And is that the Orange Housing Authority rules or the federal guidelines?
It's the federal
Okay,
guidelines.
that's what, so the federal guidelines saying that if they can't find anything, they have to lose their voucher.
Well, we put them at, what we try to do if they can't find anything after 60 days, if they request, and we encourage that, we put them at the back of the waiting list. So where they don't lose their voucher right away, but they have more time to look.
All right.
And we have, and thus the reason why we're trying to develop more affordable housing.
Okay. How many scattered housing do you have today?
Between 25 and 28, all of them are not operating right now. Some are recently acquired, so we're working on them to get them going.
Okay, and, so let's, of the 28, did you, were they done through, what's the word I'm looking for? Did you
Eminent domain?
Eminent domain, or did you purchase?
Some of them were through eminent domain, and
Just because Council President, I can feel him pushing me. So if it's 25 through houses that you have, let's just use the number 25. Of the 25, how many are for eminent domain?
I would have, in order to give you an honest answer, let me go back and look at it,
Okay.
because once we convert them, whether it's an arm's length transaction or eminent domain, we put them into our inventory and we rent them out
Okay.
as soon as possible.
And
But the first thing we do, we rehabilitate them.
I got you.
You know, so, and of course, we were fortunate enough to do the units on Oakwood Avenue, the 7 units, which added to our inventory tremendously, and those are all rented out at really reasonable rate. A 1-bedroom is only $700.
Oh, so just for, just for the sake of, you generally buy distressed property, rehabilitate it, and lease them up. And of those 25 units, how many of them are on the tax roll?
On the tax roll, none are on the tax roll because we're a public housing authority.
Okay.
All right.
So hold that right there, because that's a area of contention that we go back and forth with as the city and so on. So now, but hold that right there. So none of them, because you're taking that they're exempt, that they should not be on the tax roll because they're exempt. Okay.
Right, but we put. Let me just qualify that.
Okay.
And some people don't see it this way, but we use public money. This isn't Walt McNeil's money or Ernie Williams. This is federal tax dollars to go in, acquire, whether it be through eminent domain or whether arm's length transactions, and we spend a ton of money on these properties so that we can rehab them or acquire them so that we can provide workforce housing, affordable workforce housing in the community.
Okay.
And as far as taxes are concerned, I mean, there's a big discussion that we need to have about value that it creates when you're creating housing versus actually providing the tax dollars.
Okay.
And I know you understand that because you've been on the board and you know that.
And then-
It's been 20 minutes. I gave you 2 10-minute sessions.
I got one
And-
more last question, Council President.
Last question, we're going to
Okay.
wrap this up.
Okay, and then those houses, 25, generally, those are people that are in the Family Success Program?
FSS program,
Right.
Family Self-Sufficient.
And how many people have moved from Family Success Section 8 rental to Family Success Section 8 ownership? How many have moved
3,
on?
and
So-
and that's a good point,
Okay.
Councilwoman, because they're paying taxes now, and I actually see it.
Okay.
3 out of the 28 that we had at the time are now, the units are on the tax roll.
Okay, so if we stick with that number 25, while they're in the rental status, but they're not, but once they go into the home ownership, now they're on the tax roll?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks,
right.
Council President.
All right, we're going to wrap this. Councilman, any questions for Dr. McNeil?
Council President?
Yes,
I'll be
Councilwoman.
very, very brief.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to the Housing Authority and the Housing Redevelopment Corporation. I live in the East Ward. I was there when the buildings were up. I'm still there. The buildings came down. We would see all kinds of stuff walking down our streets, like bathtubs and sinks and all kinds of things walking down the streets. We saw people who were addicted to drugs walking up and down our street. We saw dealers on our street, on Oakwood Avenue, and I live on the corner of Oakwood and Hampton Terrace. So I just want to say thank you, because the neighborhood for me and my house has changed tremendously. So I applaud the work that you do. And for me, I just say keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Council members, any other questions?
Hey, Council President.
Councilman
real quick.
Johnson.
Dr. McNeil, I'm just curious why your conversation tonight wasn't centered around the legislation that's on. There was no conversation about Walter G. Ford. There was no conversation about the missed tax credits, and there's 2 pieces of legislation on the agenda tonight, and you didn't talk about any of it.
Well, I was invited to talk about our annual report, and I did touch on it a little bit, and I also was informed that those pieces of legislation were going to be pulled tonight, and we were going to have a sit-down discussion about it, because it makes sense to have a discussion about a project that we put $1.5 billion into of federal monies, and certainly, we do have our counsel here tonight, Marshall Moore, and we need to sit down and discuss it before we take such a draconian act. The tax credit application is now due in September. We need to, early September, we really need to have a resolution of need or a letter of need from the city in order to go on. It's a $13 million project. There's no reason why we should not proceed with this project, because it follows through with everything else that we've been doing to advance the city's goals in regard to housing, crime, providing safe streets for people, and those things, regardless of what some might think, they matter. They matter in regard to your tax dollars, because you're spending less money for police, fire in those areas that we once did. We went through, and I'll tell you, unlike other developers, every home that we bought for Walter G. Alexander, except for the ones that are rented, we demolished them. If there's no certainty, a regular profit-making developer would not spend that money to demolish those homes. So we make commitments not only to the city, but you guys make commitments to us. We make commitments to HUD because we use their money in order to get it done. And you don't lose anything by sitting down and discussing it. But what we individually as council people, but who loses is the community at large. And the Housing Authority certainly does lose when we're not doing another development like this, because what happens is we won't be able to provide the type of housing. Now, I would be remiss if I had said to you it's a guarantee, but certainly we, our financial advisor from Metro Group has spoken with the people at New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency, and we scored because of the change in the scoring, and that's what delayed us in terms of submitting the application. When the previous governor was in place, and I don't even blame it on him. You know who I blame it on? I blame it on us. Because our communities were telling people that we're tired of having affordable housing or this type of housing or that type of housing, but we didn't have a plan for what we wanted to build. And so as a result, we told him to send those units to suburban areas. And guess what? He did. So the qualified allocation plan was geared towards suburban units. So that's why in 2018 we didn't apply. Move the reel a little bit forward. We score.
Excuse me, Gerard, I don't want to cut you off, but you answered my question.
Okay.
You answered my question.
Okay.
In the first phrase, you
Okay.
answered my question. Thank you.
Director,
I have a question. No.
I'm just sorry, can you just leave those extras here? Can we have the
Oh,
extras?
yeah, I have someone to clerk and
extras.
you can have these.
Can I have, yeah, thanks. Sorry, Councilman.
Yeah, take the load off.
I just have two things, Doctor. You referenced some documents from 1938, 1952, and 1970.
Right.
Can you just forward those documents to the clerk so we can have them for our...
Oh, absolutely. Those are minutes from the.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I'll forward those things to
Okay.
you. Definitely.
And also, at our last council meeting, June 5th, I'm just hearing for the first time that this ordinance/resolution is going to be pulled. I don't know. But if it is, it was pulled last meeting because you guys were at a conference, June 5th. And between our last meeting and today, I just find it hard to believe that, the two entities can come together to discuss this. In my mind, that's a lifetime. 2 weeks is a lifetime. When you're trying to move government forward, that's a lifetime. And either we're going to, crap, or we're going to get off the pot with this. Either going to move forward with it or we're not. So I don't know if that's true, Mr. BA. Is this going to be pulled, or I'm hearing from?
I don't know yet.
Okay. So we need to pull the trigger on this, or put our guns back up and just move on.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Easton, we're going to wrap this up.
Through you to the Housing Authority Commissions, I want to say I support what you do. You've done an excellent job over on Parole Street. I go through there every day, and I marvel at the houses and how well they're kept and how well you're keeping up that community. So I support you. And just so, according to my last conversation, and I'm not going to, the meeting that you were talking about, I think we talked about it, you guys were supposed to have. I don't know what happened with the city, with the mayor, and discuss the issues that you have. I think the meeting never got off the ground, so I'm hoping that the business administrator will pull these tonight so that meeting can happen, because I know it was promised.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but I will make sure tomorrow I follow up and that we do get a date that we can all sit down and go over what your intentions are.
Council
We
President?
can't do this, and thank you for being transparent tonight and following up and giving us all the information, but there's some things that we need to do as a city to make sure we're not harming what the Housing Authority is trying to do.
Councilwoman Williams, real quick.
Do we have dates for tax credit, that you're going up for tax credit?
Yeah, in fact, Stu just came into the room, Stu Courtney from Metro Group, and he's the expert in the state.
Just a date.
Well, he can tell us.
It's September 12th.
September 12th.
That's
Okay.
the application deadline?
Yes.
So if Council President,
But, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There's one other issue. Because of the circumstance, we are applying for finances through the New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency, and they're requesting that we get the resolution of need and other things by.
We would need that resolution of need no later than July 11th.
7/11, okay. So Council President, if you and the BA can have a conversation so that they can, because Mr. Hartwick, my concerns is that, and it's not that, for me, I know it's not a no, I just want to make sure that in the market, things are the same so that they can come back before this body specifically about those tax credits. I don't know if it's going to be a new document or some amendments or something like that, so Council President, that's what I would, if you can put that on your notepad,
Right.
Council
We'll
President.
try, but in my world, nothing in government should take 2 weeks. This is just going on for too long. And this is why a lot of things fall through the crack in our town, because we don't move with a sense of urgency as if our life depends on it, because in a lot of cases it does. So that's, I'm gonna leave it right there. If we don't react moving forward with our projects and everything that comes with it, move with a sense of urgency, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm available, Council President, to meet anytime.
Mr.
any
B.A.,
day.
you got that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, thank you, Dr. McNeil.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Dr. McNeil, Ernie, Joe, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
There are several walk-ons outside on the table for any members of the public who wish to grab one. Resolution 216-2019 has been amended, and the bill list has also been amended. Council members, are there any resolutions or ordinances that you wish to discuss?
Council members, any ordinances, resolutions that you want to discuss?
Council President, we
Yes.
can talk about the amendment until it's on the agenda, right?
Right. The amendments that's going to be made?
For 216, I mean, the resolution is on the agenda, but you have an amended one.
We have an amended one.
Yeah. Can we ask the question on it?
The BA can answer the question. The amendment on Resolution 216.
Yes,
Can you just explain the difference?
sure. The number on the entire estimated tax levy for 2019 was off by 129 billion.
Wait,
Just a small error.
billion?
Billion. And that affected the tax rate calculations on page 2 under the estimated tax rate. So I corrected all of that.
Oh, that's why the reduction.
Pardon?
That's why it went from 1.3 down to 68?
Correct.
Okay.
Council members, are there any other resolutions, ordinances that we want to discuss? I have one, ordinance 31, 2019. Is on for first read. I'm just asking that the governing body support this because we have many neighborhoods that is being impacted, the quality of life being impacted by these vans that are being used for commercial purposes. But our current city code doesn't regulate a van as a commercial vehicle, even though we know that these vans are being used for commercial purposes. And I'm just asking that our council members support Resolution 31, 2019. Thank you. Council members, any other resolutions or ordinances that need to be discussed?
Council President, one question on that.
Yes. On what? On which one, Madam?
31, 2019.
Yes. What's your question?
Why the 9 o'clock hour and not earlier?
I can't understand.
Why the 9 o'clock hour and not earlier?
We can make it earlier. I mean, I thought that was just time, but we can make it earlier. Absolutely. If we want to amend it to make it 7 p.m., we can.
Yeah, because when people come in and park it,
Yep.
that means they got to get back up and move in
That's
at
fine.
9. So
That's fine. We can make that amendment. Thank you.
can we amend it to 7?
Yes, yes, we can.
And I'm glad you included them all, those even with those without commercial
Yes,
rates.
absolutely. Thank you.
Also, paragraph D on the same ordinance. It currently says that the permits will be issued by the municipal clerk. I believe it's going to be amended to say the Department of Planning.
Right.
Correct.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
You know what, I'll wait to, you getting ready to go, Ms. Hartwick? Okay, so Council President, one of the things that we discussed at the Finance Committee meeting was the need to, our residents, many of our residents are entrepreneurs, and thus resulting in them having landscape vehicles, vans, because they use them for transportation, I'm missing something, landscape, and the rigs. And so, you know, and this is becoming something that we have to look at. And I discussed with you some of the things that the planner and the zoning officer have recommended. And so I just want to put it on the record that in light of that, that we'll be coming back with their suggestion.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to put that.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with
No,
this.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I mean, it does because the van and is, one of the vehicles is a transportation van, but I just want to,
And that's the cost of, being an entrepreneur, being in business.
I'm not
and
disputing,
sure-
I just want to say that it will be coming, we talked about it, so it might be possibly amendment, but we'll discuss it at the appropriate time.
We discuss it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for the record, Paula Fiera, the tax collector, arrived at 7:10, and Gracia R. Montelis, the city attorney, 7:20. And 2 pieces of legislation will be postponed to the next meeting. I believe it's
It will be 26, 2019 will be held to the next meeting, and 182, 2019 on the consent agenda will be held to the next meeting.
So, Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
So the reorg meeting is the 2nd, I believe?
I believe it's July 1st.
We're going to do it on, because it's we could do it the week, a normal
I
meeting.
think we decided July 1st.
July 1st.
So we're going to do it on July 1st.
Whatever that day is.
Okay, that's a
Yep.
Monday. And because after that, the next meeting is the 16th, right? We just said the 16th?
Yes.
And they, meaning the Housing Authority, stated that they need a document down to Trenton by the 11th?
They delivered a resolution today called the Resolution of Need, which I haven't had a chance to look at yet. So we will, after speaking with the mayor, we'll see if they come for a meeting with the mayor, and we'll discuss all 3 items with them.
Which means you might possibly have to put a document before this governing body.
Right.
All right, so.
Council members, any other resolutions, ordinances? Yes. What do you?
No, I was just wanting to respect Marcia Moore on behalf of the Orange Housing
But we're-
Authority. I'm just here, I thought it was clarifying the resolution of the.
No.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Eason.
I'm just wondering, did we decide on the July 16th meeting? I'm not gonna be here that week. So was that a poll or we just decided?
We actually polled everyone.
You did?
Yes.
You're not going to be here the whole week, Councilwoman?
Can you take me with you?
Huh? Can you move it up a week?
Or can we go to the 22nd? Go back? Go further?
Yeah, either way, I mean, whatever works. But I won't be here that week. And I didn't realize we had decided on that date because I don't have it on my calendar.
So we got 2 dates to consider, but we have to consider a work session and the July meeting.
So can you guys think about it?
Yes, Councilwoman.
Okay.
July 12th, let's have it on the 12th.
What day is that, O'Hara?
It's the Coley Summer Jam.
Can't be that day. I'll be no good that day.
He's just being Harold.
Are we finished the discussion?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned at 7:50 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chambers, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Tuesday, June 18, 2019, following the conference meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Eason? Here. Councilman Jackson?
Here.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Here.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson? Here. Councilwoman Williams?
Present.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Here.
Council President Coley?
Present.
Also present Joyce Lanier, the city clerk, Chris M. Hartwick, the business administrator, Gracia R. Montillis, the city attorney. Oh, man. Help me out with the fire director. Huh? Deputy Chief Almendinger. I hope I said it right. Fire Department. Close enough. Captain Vinny Vitiello, the Police Department. Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Officer. Paula Fiera, Tax Collector. Lisette Sanchez, Record Support Technician. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9, EDSEC, the Sunshine Law, has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, published in the Record Transcript on July 12, 2018, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall and filed in the office of the City Clerk. Approval of the meeting minutes. May 7, 2019, conference and regular meeting minutes. Councilmember Jamie Summers cannot vote but can abstain. Motion to adopt.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. Roll call, Councilwoman Eason.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Abstain.
I'm sorry, abstain. You said I can't.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Sorry.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Here, yes.
Council President Coley.
Yes.
June 8th, 2019, special meeting minutes, the budget hearing. Councilmember Jamie Summers cannot vote but can abstain. Motion to adopt.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson Jr., second by Councilwoman Williams. Councilwoman Eason.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Coley.
Yes.
Reports. Monthly revenue collection for May. City Clerk's Office collected $653.80. The Orange Historic Preservation Commission collected $70. Constable reports. Richard Noisy for the month of May 2019 on 5/4/19 did the monthly meeting 5/5, 5/12, and 5/19 church security. Oprah reports. For the month of May, we received 146 requests. 115 were completed and 31 are pending. Council reports.
Before we get going on the council reports, we just to streamline and keep things moving smoothly. The Finance Committee, they meet every Monday prior to this meeting, and they do, a great job at going through the agenda and making their recommendations. And it's the will of the governing body to bring this to a poll, just to accept the written report of the Finance Committee, and we will review it at a later date, or review it during the course of the meeting if you have any questions. So at this time, Madam Clerk, I just want to take a poll from the governing body if we just want to accept the written report from the Finance Committee and keep it moving.
Councilwoman Eason.
This is to, yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Coley.
Yes. Okay, we all had the Finance Committee meeting notes, and I thank them for their hard work and the continued effort in moving our council in the right direction. Anything from planning, Councilwoman Eason?
No, we have our next meeting next week.
Okay, anything with ABC? Okay.
I just want to say for the item that's on the agenda for the Mount Vernon project, I just want us to support it because we need to get that project off the ground. It's been a long time.
Yep.
So we got to operate a sense of urgency.
Thank you. Anything with the library?
Council President, nothing at this time. They met last week.
Yeah, they presented their budget.
No, they had a meeting last week.
Oh, did, okay,
Yes.
okay.
But I congratulate them on their gallant effort of putting a budget presentation together versus their predecessors, so.
Thank you, sir.
I think they'd be in good shape.
Council President?
Yes, sir.
On the library, I think it's appropriate to mention at this time that you'll have an amended bill list. The amendments include two of the bills that we discussed out of the restricted fund, one for the historic preservation architect facilities assessment, and the other for the auditors for the 2012 and 13 audits. Those have to be paid before they can do the 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 audits.
18, right. Thank you. All right.
Okay, thank you. Is Ms. Gordon, anything with the Public Works Committee, Ms. Gordon?
Shortly, Council President, the Public Works Committee met 2 times, 5/28/19, and...
Ms. Gordon, you have to speak up a little bit. Thank you.
Public Works Committee met 5/28/19 and 6/11/19. Instead of discussing the goings-ons, I am going to, as a courtesy, submit the minutes to the council. Otherwise, we are awaiting by agreement from City Attorney Montilus, a written clarification of the city code describing the interaction between the city and the council and the committee, and we will be following that when we received it and discussed. So here are the minutes.
Thank you so much. I get it. Anything from the police department?
Yes, just one little thing I'd like to share with you guys. Captain Vinny Vidiello, Orange Police Department, Chief Law Enforcement Officer, on behalf of Director Todd Warren. Excuse me, I'm very tired today because just today,
Can you talk to the mic, Cap? There you go.
Excuse
Thank
me,
you, sir.
a little tired today, not my normal self, but today the members of the Orange Police Department, along with the ATF, U.S. Attorney's Office, federal, state, and many local PDs, we concluded a long-term investigation just this morning. And this investigation led to the seizure of several firearms, kilograms of cocaine and heroin, thousands and thousands of dollars of U.S. currency, and many arrests throughout the county. This drug organization was supplying mid-to-street level dealers in Orange, and now this should be another hit to the bad guys of Orange. So I just want to, say thank you to our guys and to these other agencies for doing a good job.
Council President. Council President.
Yes, Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
This is exactly what I was talking about when I was saying when you come and you let the residents know exactly what it is, like our own police blotter, because this is what they're asking for.
Did I also mention in the last meeting that our blotter is now?
I saw the blotter. I saw a
okay.
blotter in the transcript.
Thank
I
you.
did see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Took 3 years, but
Oh, yes.
it's finally going.
Delay is not denial.
It's finally going.
Maybe we'll get a good story.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
What you're referring to, is this what was on the news today?
Yeah, I think it did hit the media today. It just happened today as we speak.
So it was all on the news? Okay.
Yes. And getting back to, I think you mentioned the substation.
Yes, sir.
We will be utilizing it this summer with our walking posts and our bike
Okay.
patrols.
So so residents should start seeing walking posts and
Walking
I know the
and-
bike, and
and
the
the
bike
bike
is a
patrol,
summer.
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And I'm sorry, did the program for the young people, I can't think of it.
The AL?
The public safety.
The academy, yes.
Has that started?
Yeah, the applications are out.
Okay, so
And you can contact the Orange Police Department. Nikki Amos is handling this.
and this is a combined fire and police?
Fire and police, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Council members, any other questions for police department? Nope. Thank you, Cap.
Thank you very much.
Safe drive home, Captain.
The housing authority, they was here, so we, yeah, I know. And fire department, anything to report? All right, Deputy Chief.
There were no communications and petitions received. Pursuant to Section 4-10 of the Code of the City of Orange Township, each person addressing the council shall step up to the microphone, shall give his or her name and address in an audible tone for the record, and unless further time is granted by the presiding officer, shall limit his or her address to 5 minutes. The public is expected to conduct themselves in a proper manner. Any derogatory, abusive, or threatening statements will not be permitted. The chair will immediately rule such conduct out of order and terminate any further comments.
Mr. Fell?
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Feld, local businessman, attorney, and Warji, whose local business address is 268 Main Street, Orange, New Jersey. As my custom, I delivered a heads-up memo regarding the agenda. Why this does not constitute a communication is beyond me. I incorporate my questions and my comments in here, and I just want to have a reflection. I mean, it was amazing this past weekend what's going on in Hong Kong. I don't know if you saw the pictures where 2 million people went to the streets to fight for their rights for liberties not to be taken away. And the reason I say that was yesterday the United States Supreme Court issued an opinion about political free speech. And it talked about a public access channel, cable channel. For years I've been asking, what is our policy regarding this public access television? Do dissenters have the ability to rebut Dr. McNeil, what he presented earlier today? That's an issue that we have to confront. We need to avoid litigation, but you need to read the opinion. Because if it says public access, people need the opportunity to rebut what Dr. McNeil said earlier this evening. Also, there was some public needs to know about an event that occurred last week in Feld 20, where the court directed this clerk to follow certification regarding the calendar year 2018 subpoenas. The certification was not filed. I made a request. Where was it? I received a certification. It was drafted by the city attorneys, outside attorneys, that excluded one of the subpoenas. The attorney who represents the clerk filed a supplemental document. We're getting into a situation where we had on our agenda how many open Oprah requests there are. That only goes to month of May. It doesn't talk about all the open requests that are from January, February, March, or April. This group is a fiduciary duty. Why isn't information? We heard about transparency. How can there be transparency if there are not Oprah responses? On the agenda, on the resolutions, there's a tax appeal retention resolution. I don't understand it because it talks about retaining an attorney for affirmative duties. The way I understand the taxing system, as of October 1st, let's say 2018, the values were set. Typically, the city retains an attorney to defend tax appeals. I don't know what an affirmative tax appeal is because as of October 1st, 2018, come January of 2019, that list was certified, and there's a presumption that the assessment values are correct. I mean, it was amazing because I laid that out in my comments, and no one asked a question about it. I think the public needs to know why there are 49 properties listed, what is this law firm being retained to do, and how much it's going to cost us. I don't think that's an unreasonable request. Also, I think we need to know, is there someone here representing the finance department? Earlier this evening, I mentioned that Mr. Mapp is not here. This is the third meeting that he's not been there. Is there a representative from the finance department here to answer our questions? Also, we heard earlier that Resolution 216, 2019 has to be amended. Who drafted and who didn't catch it? Because one of the things I pointed out in my memo is that we have various circuit breakers, and these circuit breakers are not working. The BA is not the only circuit breaker here, and it cannot be his responsibility for not picking up things that the clerk should have picked up, the city attorney, or the finance department. We had to look at it. But I think we need to have an explanation as to 215, 209, what it works. And I'll speak about the ordinances later today.
Thank you, Mr. Fell. Ms. Alvina Jones?
Good evening, Alvina Jones Montgomery, 369 Olcott Street. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Council, first I'm thanking God for the opportunity to address the City of Orange Township Council. Council, thank you for this time to speak. I come before you this evening in reference to the City of Orange retirees Medicare reimbursement. I picked up the CD copy of the minutes of the June 5th meeting because at that meeting, Councilwoman Donna Williams mentioned to the business administrator, Mr. Hardwick, that she was informed, which was by me, that retirees were not informed in writing that the Medicare reimbursement, which is paid to retirees in June and December, was not going to be paid anymore. Mr. Hardwick, the business administrator, response was, that was correct. The reimbursement would no longer be paid. He brought to Councilwoman Williams' attention about the cost-saving resolution, which was discussed in May, the fact that the city is no longer in the state health program, so the city does not have to pay Medicare reimbursements, and that notification was sent out. We, the retirees, or our unions, never received notification. I'd like everyone to know our vouchers would have been on this night, would be on the meeting tonight to receive our reimbursements. At the time the city came out of the state health benefit program, we were told our policies would be equal to or better. Our first meeting was January 24th, 2017. At that meeting, Mr. Hardwick was in attendance. Some of the things that we were told was prescription would now be PROACT. Our emergency room would go back to $25 for a visit. We would still receive Medicare reimbursements June and December. Retirees do not pay into the health benefits. Prescription reimbursement still the same. All coverage you have now will be the same. As you can see, with them not paying us, that was not done. I would like to know if the money was even put in the budget. And our new plan was effective April 1st of 2017. The city has forgotten that there is a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Orange Township and Orange Municipal Employees Benevolent Association and Excess Council Number 1, Local 32, OPEIU, which one of them is dated July 1st, 1994 to June 30th, 1997, which reads in Article 32. This is on page 60 of this agreement. The township agrees to provide at no extra cost to the employees and their dependents full Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage, including Rider J and major medical or equivalent. The township, number 2, the township agrees to provide all retired employees with 25 years service or more, 25 years or more of service, and their dependents, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, including Rider J and major medical as provided through the Public Employees Retirement System. The township should provide the current prescription drug plan to all OMEBA employees who retire after 6:01 a.m. on January 1st, 1991. Number three, Mr. Harvick. Change of carrier. The township may, from time to time, change insurance carriers or self-fund its insurance benefits if it elects to do so, providing benefits are substantially equal or better. The township should notify the association prior to any change in carrier. Medicare is our primary insurance, and Horizon is our direct access. Horizon Direct Assets is our secondary insurance. What we're saying on our Medicare is paid out of our Social Security that we receive each month. So with us paying our Medicare, the city is not paying our hospitalization unless they plan on putting us in direct assets as full and make them our primary and not our secondary. So I would really like to know, was the money ever in the budget for our reimbursement?
Okay, we can't answer that question right now. We have to get back to you.
You have to get to, no one's here from finance.
Say again?
Okay,
We'll get back to you, Ms. Jones, all right?
Okay, because the way I'm looking at it, and I would like everyone to know I'm here as a retiree with credit of 38 years, 3 months service with the city of Orange, okay?
We appreciate,
But can I just say one thing? I don't want the city to not pay us.
Council
And
President,
then,
time's up.
Time is up. We can have a sidebar conversation about this later on, but we got to keep things moving.
okay, because it just looks like to me the city is trying to tack this on to next year's tax rate. If you have to do emergency appropriation if the budget is passed. Just want the citizens to know that. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jones.
Council President. You want me to just answer it? You want me to just answer it? It's in the budget.
Okay, if you want to.
In account 9-01-23-220-000-549.
Excuse me, that they not talk.
Absolutely.
Ask the audience not to talk. I guess, I don't know there's some new people here tonight, so, I mean, all of that is on this side, so we can't hear.
If you can just keep your conversation to...
They need to go outside.
Right. Thank you. If you got to discuss anything, please take it outside because it makes it very difficult to hear. Thank you very much. Mr. B.A., thank you.
In the introduced budget under administration, in the insurance lines, in account 9-01-23-220-000-549, Chapter 88 Medicare refund, it's fully funded.
All right. Thank you.
Council President, I'm sorry, point of order.
Say again?
Point of order. But can you just clarify, Mr. Harwick, why it doesn't have to be paid? I think that's the issue why they all are here.
I don't mind having that discussion with them. Basically, when Chapter 88 was introduced, you had to adopt a resolution to participate in Chapter 88. The city never did. When they changed the law in 2010, you could opt out of Chapter 88 benefits, and that's what the city has done. Since we're no longer participating in the state health benefit program, Chapter 88 doesn't apply.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barner, Charles Barner. Charles Barner still here? You left? Okay. Dr. Giuliano?
Just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging my 30-year service with the City of Orange Fire Department. It was awesome, and wanted to acknowledge former Councilman Silvestri, who approved my leave of absence to be a doctor, and I am, because of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Is there a motion to close citizen comments?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments?
Council comments. Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
Mine will be very short. It's going to be a busy week coming up. I just want to say congratulations to the Orange High School class of 2019. I can't wait to see all of the scholarships and colleges that they'll be going to, because in about, I don't know, 10, 11 years, I guess my little ones will be graduating from Orange High. So I'll be a parent. So for all the Orange High graduates, congratulations. I'll be there to see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Williams, you want to? Councilwoman Wooten.
Council President, I just want to say congratulations also to talk about a community baby shower that I went to on Saturday, which was in the city of East Orange. It's a really good baby shower. We had a lot of recipients there, and they were really grateful for the items that they received. And it was not only a baby shower, but it was sort of like an empowering meeting of single parents. Some parents were married, both women and men. And they also talked about, prenatal care, the importance of prenatal care. This agency that I went to, they house over 3,000 people to help them with their prenatal care and to help them, after and do workshops. So it was a really good community baby shower that I went to. I was glad that I went. I also went to the Orange Soiree in Montclair. A lot of people from Orange were given awards. I want to say congratulations to all the recipients of that. And I attended a housing conference in Fort Lauderdale, which I paid for my own plane ticket in my own room. I paid for my own plane ticket and room. Went to the housing conference, which was a really good housing conference. So the Housing Authority, they do keep their commissioners educated on what's going on with new laws concerning HUD and anything that has to do with housing. And I just want to say thank you. That's it.
All right. Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Council President. By way of announcement, Governor Murphy will be in the city of Orange tomorrow for a Juneteenth program at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it starts promptly at 6 p.m. And because it's on Reynolds Terrace, and I don't have the, thank you. Again, Governor Murphy, along with Chairman Lawrence Ham and Dr. Antoinette Ellis Williams, will be at the Church of the Oranges at 6. The program starts at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:30, and it's at 270 Reynolds Terrace, and that's tomorrow night. Again, beginning at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. and it's for a Juneteenth program. Also this Saturday, our community service department, in conjunction with many other organizations, will be doing a walk, and it's up at the reservoir, and it starts promptly at 9 o'clock in the morning. So come out and get your summer bod started. And then finally, with regrets, we will be celebrating the life of Kreft Hannibal on this Friday, June 21st. The funeral will be at Bethel Baptist Church, and viewing is from 9 to 11, and funeral, it starts promptly at 11 a.m. Thank you, Council President.
You're quite welcome. Councilwoman Eason.
Thank you. I just want to announce that on tomorrow night, 6 p.m. in Lincoln Avenue School, the Big Old Booster Club will be hosting its annual awards banquet for Orange High School students. So come out and cheer them on and help us support them as we give away scholarships. We will be giving away 6 $1,000 scholarships to the worthy students and one that has the highest academics. So please come out and support us this year. I think it's what, our 40th banquet?
42nd.
This is our 42nd banquet, and we're still alive, so just come out and support us. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Councilman Jackson?
I just want to do, no, I just reserve my comments. Thank you. Safe time.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to wrap my comments up tonight with thanking the Citizen Budget Advisory Committee, thanking the two appointees that I brought forth this year for doing a diligent job. I'm hoping that they will have some longevity and everybody will consider bringing their appointees back so there can be some consistency on the citizens of following the budget process. So that's my wish, and I want to thank them again for shooting at the hip and being here as much as possible. Thank you, CBAC.
Council President?
Councilwoman Williams.
I just omitted one thing. We have our board member, Mr. Winfield, here, and I know that tonight the Orange High School students, Councilwoman Easton, you just reminded me, are being honored tonight. There's an awards program, so can you share that we can't be in two places at one time? So we did get an invitation to be there, but our hearts are there, but, you know. Thank you, sir.
Madam Clerk? Nah, I'm done.
Ordinance on second reading, public hearing. 19-2019, an ordinance of the City of Orange Township to approve a tax exemption for a 30-year period and to authorize the 30-year exemption and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement between the city and FTGRE 205 Mount Vernon Urban Renewal, LLC. This has been postponed from 4/16/57 meetings. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Jeffrey Phil, I just wish the BA, we may wait a few seconds till the BA comes in, because some of the comments I have are about drafting, because he's talking to the crew. Do you mind we wait till he's here so he can hear my comments?
You want to try and get him real quick?
No, he's talking to the group of retirees outside. If you wouldn't mind, I'd just like to reserve it so he's in the room when I give him my comments. It's up to you.
Hey, Kat, can you just get the BA real quick?
No.
Thanks, man.
No, he's talking and there's a heated discussion going on.
Yeah, I know, but we have a meeting to run here.
If there's nobody else to go, then he has to go. Or we close the comment.
You should be in the...
Well, I'll put the comments in. I mean, my comments, one is the drafting comments of the long-term tax exemption, and it's over a history that there should be a provision telling us what the minimum payment is, what the amount is. Based on this project, it's just raw land, and based on the raw land, you're only getting $2,500. But I think on the projections, it's about $30,000 you're getting a year that you should have. So when a clerk has to look and see what we're getting the payments, we know what we're having rather than looking back for it. Also, there should be shovel in the ground provisions, that we know what they don't perform, they lose the tax abatement. Question about whether there's a 2% administrative fee. And the question is, a lot of you, I wish someone was taking a picture, is that the ordinance that we have, there's history, and the public really should know the history, that the ordinance that you're approving tonight, a paragraph was changed. And the paragraph was changed to reflect the change of law that occurred in 2016 that I had to bring to the attention of the administration, the finance department, and the legal department that's there. The one issue we have is something called a fiscal impact study. And years ago, there would be a presentation about the project, saying how many units it is, what the fiscal impact study would be, and what the projections are. I don't know who read this document, because they said the only cost that they were going to bear by the school district is about $6,000. Most of the units here are 2 bedrooms. I wish someone was here from the school board to say if they signed off, understanding that the school board is only going to get $6,000 from this project. They're not going to get any monies, because remember, under tax abatements, no monies goes to the school district. All the monies go to the county. Percentage, 5% of the revenues go to the county, the rest goes to the town. The question is, where is the school going to make up the shortfall for educating the students that are walking to this area? When you look at the chart, it says that there will be no additional cost for police or fire. It's time, really, I wish we had an opportunity to bring in Integra Realty to compare this fiscal impact study to the other fiscal impact studies that they've done. Because when you look at the documents, they say, what is going to be the net benefit for us? I think it's like $28,000. When we had Crane, it was about more than $200,000. I'm just saying that the public and the council should have a presentation to go through it, to understand what we're going to do this. I understand this is raw land, but we should also know what is the minimum guarantee payment so we don't have fights like we had with other redevelopers. We don't have fights if they didn't put a shovel in the ground by a certain date. That should be in the fiscal impact, in the financial agreement. But really, the public is entitled to a presentation of the project. I appreciate that this fiscal impact study was put on the website, but there really has to be an analysis, because we're going to have this discussion when it comes to Walter G. Phase 4 very shortly. Because remember, when they did their analysis 2 years ago, it was a negative number.
Are there any other citizens who wish to speak?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt on final?
Move.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion. Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
Council President, through you to Councilwoman Eason, just because she's a rep
Yes.
for the planning. Councilwoman Eason, was there a public hearing regarding this project at the planning board?
A while back.
Oh,
A while back.
a while
Yes.
back?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Hartwood. Mr. Hartwood, regarding the Mount Vernon, did we have the developers, did we do a public hearing on this project? The city council, not the planning, or the administration, I should say.
There was a presentation in this room by the developer at a public council meeting. And there was a presentation on the pilot and on the development project.
And
there were also, on this project, 2 public forums held by the developer, and the documents have all been put up on the website.
And was Mr. LaFont there?
Art Linfante was there, yes.
Okay. And I know at one point we talked about doing an impact statement individually and collectively. Are we still?
There's a fiscal impact statement for the
No,
project.
just one, I'm just, so, and are we still doing at some point a collective on all the projects?
We will.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Council President.
You're quite welcome.
I'm just, in our last projects that we have done, 2-bedroom, there were 2 bedrooms, I guess. How many of those 2 bedrooms result in family and children going to the school?
They're all different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is impacted by location. If you look in the fiscal impact statement for each of the projects that's been prepared by Mr. Linfante when he was with Value Research Group, and again, now that they merged with Integra, he identifies in each of those fiscal impact statements the number of students likely to be generated by the project. I don't have them committed to memory.
Okay. Thank you, Council President.
Roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Abstain.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 abstain, motion passed. Ordinance 24-2019. a refunding bond ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $1,565,000 aggregated principal amount of refunding bonds and/or refunding notes by the City of Orange Township and the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, for the purpose of funding an emergency temporary appropriation for legal judgments. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Council President?
Yes, Mr. BA.
Just be guided by the fact that you can open the public hearing, you can listen to comment, but you have to leave the public hearing open on this because it's subject to approval of the local finance board.
And do we know the date of that hearing?
Well, it's part of the application that was filed for the July meeting.
Okay.
Jeffrey Feld, first of all, I thank the BA for pointing out that procedural point, but the other thing I think the public needs to know, and it's never been clarified, that this is to refund the settlements, two settlements. One settlement, I think the public understands, I think it's the Upchurch settlement, but there's another piece that's never been explained to the public, and I think the public's entitled to know what the other action involved that's being funded by this refunded bond.
Thank you, Mr. Fell.
Okay, the public hearing will be kept open to the July 16th meeting.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
Through you to Mr. Montellis, can you specify what this is for?
I can.
Okay.
So $1,250,000 of this is for a settlement of a lawsuit involving Police Lieutenant Deborah Upchurch.
Mm-hmm.
The second piece is to fund a total disability finding in a workers' comp case involving a former fire chief by the name of Swanwick.
Thank you, Council President.
Yep.
Ordinance on introduction, first reading. 26-2019 has been postponed to July 16th or whatever the date's going to be for the meeting. 31-2019, an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, Vehicles and Parking, Article 2, entitled Parking, to further regulate overnight parking of commercial vehicles. This ordinance has also been amended. Before I open the comments, the time is to be amended to what
7
time?
p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m., yes.
And in paragraph D, the department will be the Department of Planning, not the municipal clerk. Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilwoman Eason. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
For now, the final reading is July 16th, 2019. If any changes occur, it'll be published in the newspaper. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. 182-2019 has been postponed to the July 16th meeting. 216 has been amended and will be pulled for a separate vote. 217 has been amended and will be pulled for a separate vote. Are there any other items?
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Wooten.
209.
209.
Council
Okay.
President?
Yes, 209.
Council President?
Yes. Yes, Councilwoman Eason, yes.
184.
184, 209. Any others?
The consent agenda now consists of 210, 211, 212, 213, 214, and 215. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Move. Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
Items removed for a separate vote. 184-2019, a resolution to enter into a contract with Mr. Justice Roundtree of 360 Poetry Night for spoken word, hosting, and presentation services in amount not to exceed $4,000. This has been postponed from 5/21 and 6/5 regular meeting. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion.
Council President, weren't we supposed to get some additional information on that one from the last meeting?
I'm sorry, I was speaking with Councilwoman Wooten, so I don't know which one you're on.
Till Councilwoman stop distracting you.
184.
Weren't we supposed to get some additional information?
This is the one where you wanted a listing of all the payments that have been made thus far. Is that right?
Yeah, and why so much?
Well, all right. So just hold it, all right, and I'll get you the printout. But basically it's once a month appearance, and there's an appearance fee. And that's what gets you to the amount.
So you hold it to the next meeting?
I'll hold it to the next meeting.
Okay.
And also, Council, just so we know, and it includes various artists sometimes as well.
I think this is just one specific one.
No, it's not one. This is,
It's a contract with Mr. Justice Roundtree.
not to exceed for multiple times.
Yeah, I
Council
understand that. I
President.
understand that.
Yeah, okay.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman
But it's
Wooten.
multiple times, but it speaks to a lot of things in this resolution that I just wanted proof of, because I've gone to them, and there are not a lot of people there. And they talk about live music or live entertainment. I mean, I haven't seen. So before we vote to pay somebody, I think it's $500 a night, like, just give us the proof. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah, it's my fault. I just forgot.
Taking my step.
I've made notes like twice now and forgot. So this time I'll try to remember.
Good.
Any other comments on Resolution 184, 2019?
Is there a motion to postpone to the next meeting?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson Jr., second by Councilwoman Eason. Roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
184, 2019 will be postponed to July 16th. 209, 2019, a resolution reappointing Betty McLeod, a resident of Orange, New Jersey, as a commissioner member of the Housing Authority of the City of Orange Township, New Jersey, for a term of 5 years, sponsored by Councilmember Carrie J. Coley. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion?
Council President?
Yes.
I wanted it removed because Miss Betty is here tonight. So I wanted to congratulate her and compliment her on the job that she's doing or has done as a commissioner to the Housing Authority. So I wanted her to see our votes individually. I wanted her to be made to feel special. I mean, she's a good person. She does a really good job with the Housing Authority. She does a really good job with the tenants in 340, and I just wanted her to be complimented tonight. That's all.
That's fine. Fine by me.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
And I'll second that. She is special in a lot of different ways. And she's union made, and thank you for your service, your independent service. Thank you.
Miss Betty, you want to say a few words, if you don't mind?
Look at her, see?
So very much to all of the council members and to my council president. Yes, I love the Orange Housing Authority. I love all the tenants. We have a great time, and I do believe that we are doing great things here in the city of Orange, and I want to continue to be a part of that process. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you, Miss Betty.
Council President.
Trying to call me.
One of our board members want to say.
Oh, Mr. Mateo? Yes.
Christina Mateo, 245 Washington Street. I'm a resident of Orange. I also work for the Housing Authority. And I would like to say about Miss Betty that I really appreciate her commitment, the things she does for the residents. I want everyone to know that on a daily basis, she walks the hallways, she knocks on people's doors, she makes sure our residents are well. When someone needs a work order, she comes down for them. She's like a mom to all the residents over there, and she's a mom for the staff as well. I really appreciate everything she does.
Thank you.
Roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Absolutely, without a doubt, yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes, Miss Betty. All right.
Resolution 216-2019, a resolution authorizing the City of Orange tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with PL 1994 C-72. This resolution has been amended. B.A. Hartwick, can you just briefly explain the amendment again?
This is 216.
Yes.
In paragraph 2, under the now wherefore, I've changed the number from 1.3 billion and change to 68,401,438.28. And on the calculation of the estimated tax rate under the 2019 estimated tax rate, I've changed all the numbers in the left-hand column and the right-hand column.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
217-2019, a resolution approving the bill list for council meeting vote on June 18, 2019, dated June 12, 2019, and approving checks issued by the Finance Department in accordance with Ordinance 2-95. Grand total, $6,227,107.31. This bill list has been amended. The difference is $139,726.85. The amendments is on page 13, and the additional supplement that was passed out left on the table. Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion?
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Through you to Mr. Hartwick. Mr. Hartwick, this amendment includes bills for the library and specifically the audit.
Yeah.
Okay, and this was money that we had earmarked for them.
Yeah, there are 3 additional bills on this from what the original bill list had. It's a bill to First Choice Financial, which I've discussed with the council. It's a bill from Dennis Cowell Architects, which is the historic preservation architect that did the facility assessment for the library that never got paid. And it is a bill from Samuel Klein and Company, also for the library, for the audits for 2012 and 13. Those last 2 bills are paid out of the restricted library account 2018 reserve, where I reserved $75,000 out of the aggregate of that account. And the First Choice Financial bill is paid out of the water utility account, operating account.
And specifically the library bills, as a matter of record, I'm not asking that we stop them, but we said that we were going to do a resolution to memorialize, so if we can do a subsequent resolution to memorialize, because it was for.
So you mean for the subsequent audits?
Right.
So the library board has invited me to the July 11th meeting to discuss with them the memorandum of agreement. So assuming the July 11th meeting with the library board goes well, I will have a resolution with an MOA prepared for the council to approve at the 16th, July 16th meeting. And that will include all of the other bills.
Gotcha.
Roll call. Councilwoman Easton?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
New business. Walk-on resolutions. Resolution 218, 219, 220, 221, 222, and 223 are being considered for walk-on items. The titles read 218-2019 WO, a resolution celebrating the life of Ross Stephen Wright and renaming Metcalf Park baseball field, sponsored by Councilmember Donna K. Williams. 219-2019 WO, a resolution celebrating the accomplishments of Yusef Mays, sponsored by Councilmember Donna K. Williams. Resolution 220-219 WO, resolution appointing Brian L. Atis as a member of the Citizen Budget Advisory Committee, sponsored by Councilmember Adrian Wooten. Resolution 221-2019 WO, resolution to amend Resolution 316-2018, authorizing the award of a contract to Occupational Health Centers of New Jersey, PA, DBA, Concentra Medical Centers, 375 McCarter Highway, Newark, New Jersey, 07114-2562, to administer and provide employment medical examinations for the period of November 8, 2018 to December 31st, 2019, adding $50,000 for a total amount not to exceed $120,800. 22-2019 WO, a resolution celebrating the life of Kraft Terrence Hannibal, sponsored by Councilmember Donna K. Williams. Resolution 223. Resolution 223, a resolution amending Resolution 183-2019, entering into a contract with Metro YMCA of the Oranges for the co-facilitation of 2019 Mayor's Circle of Excellence Summer Camp to include a not-to-exceed amount of $115,000, adding $5,000 in the amount not to exceed the stated in the contract attached to Resolution 183-2019. Is there a motion to walk these items on the agenda?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Jackson. On the motion?
On the motion?
Point of order. I'm not
Yes.
supposed to do that, but I just figured I needed to stop you. So the one resolution for appointing Mr. Addis to the Citizen Budget Advisory Committee, I believe that the council has adopted an ordinance that says that city employees can't be on committees, and I'll be signing an offer letter to Mr. Addis tomorrow.
He's a city employee?
He will be as of tomorrow.
Okay, so let's just pull it.
That's what?
Pardon?
That's what?
I'll tell you after.
That is number, what, that's,
220.
Officer.
I guess we got to pull it.
Okay. So we're pulling that one, right?
Yes.
Which
we
one
gotta
we
pull
pulling?
it.
220.
We're pulling 220?
Yes.
220-2019 WO has been pulled. Is there a motion to walk on 218, 219, 221, 222, and 223?
Move. Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilwoman Summers Johnson. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
Are there any citizens who wish to speak on any of the resolutions?
Thank you.
I have just a generic comment. Again, Jeffrey Feld, like the honorariums, why are we constantly always having these walk-ons, especially changing the name of Metcalf Park? Shouldn't the public know this? And because I don't know if the population knows or would want the name to be changed to something like that. I mean, to walk it on without any notice to people, a question, especially like these honorariums. I understand the ones about contracts you have to do, but for honorariums, why can't they wait till next meeting?
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Eason.
Just so everybody's clear, they're not changing the name of Metcalf. They're naming the baseball field.
One of them, yeah. Because it's two, so just one.
Yeah, one of the baseball fields. They're not changing the Metcalf Park name. They're just naming one of the baseball fields after Mr. Wright. So that we're not misleading the public. We're not changing the name of Metcalf Park.
Thank you.
And I agree, we should be able to hold the walk-ons and not have them because they're not emergencies. They could have held on to the next meeting. That part I agree with you.
Is there a motion to close citizen comments?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson Jr., second by Councilman Jackson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 218-2019 WO, a resolution celebrating the life of Ross Stephen Wright and renaming the Metcalf Park baseball field, sponsored by Councilmember Donna K. Williams. A motion to adopt?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Johnson Jr., second by Councilmember Jackson. On the motion?
On a motion,
motion.
Council.
President?
Yes.
This is this would be a council resolution.
So since there's more than one field, could we specify what field?
When you walk into the real, to the right,
To keep down confusion? Because people make, off of Argyle, closest to the basketball court, that one?
I think the one to the right, if you're facing it, the one to the right is the one where the kind of, if you will, the pro that, I don't, so the one to the right, if I'm facing it.
Closest to the pool?
Yeah, yes. Not closest to, yeah, closest to the water station, that one. To the right. If I'm facing the park, the one to the right. If I'm walking in, right and left.
Oh, to the right,
Yes.
closest to the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna say Phil right, Phil left, so Phil right.
Any other questions on the motion?
And who's gonna do the sign?
Who's gonna do
There
that?
has to
Would
be a sign posted, right?
they do that through the, Mr. Hartwick, that's done through the co-op, correct?
Correct.
And they're working on, through the co-op.
So to be clear, Metcalf Park baseball field.
Right.
Front entrance, right.
Just right, Phil.
Right. Is there a motion to adopt as amended? You're amending this?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
Move. Second.
Councilwoman Wooten, second by Councilwoman Williams. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
219-2019 WO, a resolution celebrating the accomplishments of Yusef Mays, sponsored by Councilmember Donna K. Williams. A motion to adopt?
Move.
Motion by
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Wooten. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
221-2019 WO, a resolution to amend Resolution 316-2018, authorizing the award of a contract to Occupational Health Centers of New Jersey, PA, DBA, Concentra Medical Centers, 375 McCarter Highway, Newark, New Jersey, 07114-2562, to administer and provide employment medical examinations for the period of November 8th, 2018 to December 31st, 2019, adding $50,000 for a total not to exceed $120,800. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Jackson. On the motion?
On the motion.
Seeing none, roll call. Councilwoman
On the
Eason.
motion.
Yes.
You gotta, on the motion.
Somebody on the motion? I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Wooten.
So, through you to the business administrator, so this money it's already in our budget?
So the, last year, they put $20,800 of the contract into the 2018 budget. And this year, I asked for 100, not only because of all, well, first of all, at the end of last year, the contract only went from September to the end of the year. It was a 2-year proposal, so we had approved it at the $70,800 amount. But because of all the police officers that we had to screen and all the firefighters that we had to screen, the medical costs were higher for the 2019 budget. So I've added $50,000 to the 70 that was originally approved, and that's what brings us to the 128.
Gotcha.
And yes, I have put it into this year's budget.
Thank you.
Roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
222-2019 WO, a resolution celebrating the life of Cref Terrence Hannibal, sponsored by Councilmember Donna K. Williams. Motion to adopt?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Jackson. On the motion?
On the motion.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
this will be a resolution by the City Council.
Thank you.
Sponsored by the Council of a Whole. Roll call. Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
223-2019 WO. A resolution amending Resolution 183-2019, enter into a contract with Metro YMCA of the Oranges for the co-facilitation of 2019 Mayor's Circle of Excellence Summer Camp to include a not-to-exceed amount of $115,000, adding $5,000 in amount not to exceed stated in the contract attached to Resolution 183-2019. Is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Williams, second by Councilman Johnson Jr. On the motion?
On the motion.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman.
Mr. Hardwick, what's the additional 5,000 for?
We needed to add the cost of developing the curriculum to the 110 for the academic portion of the program.
Okay.
And also I did this because in the last resolution that was approved, there was no dollar amount and no certification of funds. So I corrected both those flaws with the amendment.
Thank you.
Roll call, Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson Jr.?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Coley?
Yes.
Is there any other pending business?
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Wooten.
this will be new business. I would like to present a resolution from the floor, but before I do that, I would like to ask the city attorney, because I know before we put anything on the agenda, how would you attest to its legality? Because I know the form and legality of the resolution. You see what I'm saying?
Are you, just so that I understand your question and I'm clear, are you asking how will it be introduced?
No. I understand how to introduce it,
Okay.
and I know what it needs to pass. But I know before anything is put on the agenda, it goes to the law department.
Correct.
For you to check its form and legality.
Mhm.
So if this is introduced tonight, like, what gives you the chance to check that? And do you check that?
As long as it's read into the record and I can, and the contents of the proposed legislation, I'd be able to at least comment on its form and legality.
So can I think,
The one that you gave? Yes.
we gave him all the walk-ons at the beginning
She's
of the
talking
meeting?
about another one.
Oh, you-
She's
oh,
talking
okay.
about the one that she
Okay.
wants to introduce on the floor. She's talking about one that she's
got
gonna,
you.
yeah. You're looking at me like you don't.
So
No,
nobody's
it's
seen it.
only
You haven't
'cause I was
handed it out yet?
confused.
No.
Okay.
It's in,
That what?
but I don't think.
So you gonna hand it out?
It's not gonna.
This is it?
Once he looks at it.
Could you give it out and stop negotiating this?
Take a minute. Just take a minute.
It's like a kid took scared the parent. He had the same thing.
And Council President, while it's being reviewed, can I
Yeah,
ask the
Madam Clerk?
while while he's reviewing it, you don't, the lawyer doesn't have one. While he's reviewing it, may I ask a question, Council President? Yes, no?
Mr. B, you familiar with this?
I received it today from the clerk's office.
While everybody's reviewing, can I ask a question, Council President?
Okay.
What's the difference? The graduation's on Wednesday.
Yeah, the 26th.
Mr. City Attorney, you wanna add your comments to this?
I just have questions, actually. I'm not gonna necessarily, I'm not gonna render a legal opinion, but I just have some questions. Now, the underlying versions, I mean, this is a resolution, so this isn't an ordinance. So
Right.
what are the underlying versions, or why are there some
Underlined.
phrases or words actually underlined, and
So-
some are not?
So can I speak to the people who asked me to put it up?
Don't we
You
have to put it on the
they have
agenda to
come-
talk about?
Right.
Okay.
Wait, before. Council President, point of order, before do we have to put it on the agenda to talk about?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so before.
Right, we can't.
Yes.
So,
Council President, can the city attorney explain like how we can, pursuant to the code, introduce legislation from the floor?
Sure. So again, it's by the 2/3 vote. You don't need the city attorney to actually review or comment on its form and legality.
Right, okay.
You introduce it by 2/3 vote, the citizens would have an opportunity to come up and speak on it, and then the council as a body would then vote on the proposed legislation.
but we have to put, so,
But you got to put it on the agenda.
so you want to make a motion to?
So I make a motion to.
Make a motion and second it, and then,
Right. Make a motion.
Make a motion to add it to the agenda.
and it would need a second.
And we get it, so, and name it 224?
No, I have to add it on the agenda, but I'm going to call for somebody to make copies too as well. Can I see it?
And I second the motion.
Yeah, point of order, I'm not comfortable with this whole.
The title is, is there a motion to take a 5-minute recess?
Yeah.
Second. So do we need to rescind those motions?
Wait, we didn't do a motion yet.
Motion on the floor.
Point of order takes precedent over motions.
I'm sorry. It was a motion to recess by Councilwoman Williams, and it was second by
Jackson.
Councilman Jackson. All in favor? Aye. Recess for 5 minutes. Okay, we're now back in session.
Council President.
Councilwoman Wooten.
It was explained to me by the city attorney as to, you are able to introduce legislation that way, but he's gonna explain to you why I can't introduce this piece of legislation.
It's contract.
If I may, Council President?
Yes.
City attorney is-
So after further review, Councilwoman Wooten is correct, that certain legislation can be introduced on the floor. However, this proposed legislation is not appropriate and not proper under our form of government, as it would essentially bind the city to a contract, and obviously only the mayor can do that. So this legislation is not appropriate, not proper for introduction by the council.
Gotcha. Thank you, city attorney.
Any other pending business?
I just want to make a comment. I just take offense to the Housing Authority putting,
Can't talk about it.
I take offense to this. I was born tonight, but not last night. Leave it there, Madam Clerk.
Council President? Council President?
Okay.
Okay. So, talk to some of the council members regarding the dates, and a majority are available for Monday, June 24th at 7 p.m. for the work session, and a majority are available to move the July meeting to the 22nd because we want, I think 2 people may not be here. If we have to adopt, we want a full body if we have to adopt. So ask that we could consider those days. Sir?
Yes.
So June 24th for the work session and July 22nd
Okay,
for
but
the
I just
July.
have to state for the record, June 24th is the zoning board meeting. We'll just poll the whole council tomorrow on these dates.
Are any of us on the zoning board?
No.
Good point. Good point.
Okay, any other pending business?
No.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move. Second.
Motion by Councilman Johnson Jr., second by Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
Yes,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned at 9:16 p.m.